I am very, very glad to be here this morning in the company of our First Lady, whom we love very much. And the reason why we love her very much is because she's simple, she's down to earth, and she's just like me and you. And over the past 7 years, when I've been practicing surgery until I was now called upon to be where I am, I watched our First Lady with awe and amazement. And she is my role model for this reason. I attempted to invite her to come and lay a foundation stone when I was the chair of the Medical Practitioner and Dentist Board of Kenya, and she came, and she was actually doing brick and mortar. So I nearly collapsed. But she was very steady and she was doing it. And then she said, if you complete this building in 18 months, I will come back and open it. So she gave us that impetus, and we've completed the building and she came and opened it. The other reason why I am happy to be in her presence, this First Lady of ours here does marathons, does syndicates in order to ensure that the mother and the child in Kenya gets proper health care that is required. And over these years, she has syndicated some of the very best mobile clinics. I have been to all parts of the world as the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Nairobi, to many medical schools, many nursing schools. And I don't know where she was getting some of the ambulances. You could have that ambulance in New York or anywhere else, well equipped, and then they go to the remote areas that do not have access. The last time I saw her on television, which is 1 or 2 weeks ago, she was concerned about our culture where people marry children whom they should not marry, to the extent that when they are pregnant, they cannot pass the child through the pelvic cavity, and they end up with fistulae. So she had mobilized both human resource and infrastructure capacity for West Pokot. That is our First Lady, and that's what I remember her for. And so I am here and looking at you at the title of your conference. And I'm saying, since Kenya is training doctors, and we are very slow, we're also training nurses, perhaps our beloved President's Big Four agenda, which include universal health care. Are we together? Perhaps the nurse is the one with the answer. So that we train more nurses on public health. Most of the deliverables that the population requires does not need you to become a doctor or a sophisticated nurse. Can we go to the population, for example, and find out all those women who are pregnant, who are below age, so that they are eventually brought to hospital and given cesarean section, rather than dealing with the fistula at the end of it. And I want to say this, as a surgeon who has practiced surgery for 41 years, that the nurse is the most single important constant in any delivery of a medical process. And I think in our country, we need to do a little bit better to glorify our nurses. Your Excellency, I shall work with my colleague, who is also a very good friend, so that we can entice our own nurses to remain at home. Because money is just a means to an end. It's not an end in itself. So I have pride in being of service, being a Kenyan, being of service to my people. I think if we glorify the nurses, we may be able to entice them to help us to deliver the Big Four agenda. And like the President, I'm also in a hurry, because I can only be a minister by the grace of God for another 3.5 years. Do you get the point? And I strongly suspect that my being here has something to do with her. But I strongly suspect that. So, my dearest colleagues, Mine is to wish you the very best and to encourage our nurses. I stand from a pedestal where every job is important, whether you are a toilet cleaner, a surgeon, a professor, a nurse, what have you. But I think the nurse comes first among all these other professions. Because even my most humble self, when the time comes, guess whose face I will see last? Is the nurse. So if you are nasty to them, then you can imagine what is going to happen. So I think what I'm trying to say is that let us give respect where it deserves. The title does not matter. But if we agree that we increase the numbers of the nurses that we are training, and my Vice Chancellor is here, he has about 700 nurses at one time. Why does he not train 1,400? And why don't we ensure that they are employed and they are empowered so that they can help us to deliver one of the key pillars of the Big Four agenda?